What's good, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about the S&P 500 ETF SPY. It looks pretty bad, honestly. It looks very bad. Back in May 2020, we had this crash right here, the COVID crash. And after that, it's been forming a rising wedge. Okay? So this rising wedge right here, as you can see, I drew it. It actually broke the rising wedge, not to the upside. It broke to the side that it typically breaks the rising wedge, to the downside. So this time, it looks tough, honestly. It looks tough. And it has a lot more room to the downside on the stock indicator as well, the stochastic indicator. As you can see right here where I'm pointing, it has a lot more room to fall. We're about halfway still. Tough. You can see it broke it to the downside. The Heikin-Ashi candles right here, they're full right here. So it definitely has more room to go down. And this is the overall market. So I want to actually show the other indicators that really show you what could potentially happen. So I'm going to go with the SAR right here. As you can see, for the first time in a while, the circles in the upper part right here are red. Are red. Just like they were over here, they're red. From all this green right here to red on the weekly, which is a very big time frame. Let me zoom in so you can see right there, red. Okay, back like in the 2020 over here, the SARS indicator on the weekly did turn red too. We had it for a very brief moment, red here and here, but what's the difference that I'm comparing it to 2020 crash right now is that we actually broke from the falling wedge. Not the falling wedge. The falling wedge is an upside breakout. The rising wedge, we broke it right here. As you can see, I drew it and it broke completely from the rising wedge on the weekly. Want some more confirmation right here? The EMA. So let's turn off the SARS indicator. We saw it's red already. Okay, let's turn off the Bollinger Band so we don't get confused yet. I have the EMAs. I have the 10 EMA, 5 EMA. The 5 EMA is the yellow one. The 10 EMA being the purple one. Let me switch to regular candles. As you can see, we did a death cross with the 5 EMA and the 10 EMA. We haven't done a death cross between the 5 EMA and the 10 EMA and confirmed it since March of 2020 when the crash happened. So it's tough because we really want to be over 450 and 454 to avoid this. And we have 2 days on this week for this weekly candle, so it's not the best thing. We would really need a strong push next week to avoid this death cross, but it would be confirmed if we don't get the push over 454 in these next 2 days, honestly, because it's already crossed. Want to see the death cross back in 2020? Let's just look at it, the long time frame. And you're going to see that the only time it actually crossed like it did here is when it didn't cross anywhere here. You can see it didn't fully cross, didn't confirm a cross anywhere here. The only time it actually crossed like this and went down was here. Confirmed it with this candle, not crossing over to avoid this death cross. And then it kept going down and down till it actually went for that golden cross. So here, death cross, doesn't go over it, it confirms it. Looks a lot like this candle too. And then it goes more down. That's why you also use Heikin-Ashi candles, because you can see these are full red candles when you turn on Heikin-Ashi candles. Because you will look at that doji and you would think, okay, this is a reversal. No, this is an indecision. It's actually a candle of indecision. You don't know what's going to happen until you see the other indicators, until you then see the SAR indicator turning red too on a big time frame. Does not look good. The Bollinger Bands, they were tightening over here, right? But they expanded to the downside. What's happening right now? If you notice those Bollinger Bands, they were tight, they expanded into the downside. Let's look at it right now. The Bollinger Bands are tight, but where do they look like they're expanding right now? To the downside with the red SARS indicator. So it's tough, right? So if you're asking me, what do I think is going to happen? It's probably going to go to 410 or 400 in my opinion. Would I like that to be wrong? Actually, yes, I would like that to be wrong. But at the same time, with what's happening with the Fed and people being quote unquote concerned with quantitative tightening, QT, to stop QE, which is necessary, honestly, at the end of the day. It's tough, but you see it right there, like I told you. We're below the middle of the Bollinger Bands also. We did confirm a death cross if we close below it, below the yellow line and the purple line this week on this weekly candle, which would be just like over here, where we didn't manage. So in decisiveness, then we go down, down. So I'm expecting this to go to 410 or 400. You could even do some Elliott wave right here. If you notice, this was a bear flag, right? Or if you're doing Elliott wave, this was wave 2 to the upside, but in the downside correction. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're still waiting for a fifth, anywhere from 400 to 416 around this area. Let's hope that's not the case, honestly. Give me a bullish case. Give me a bullish case in the comment section, because it's tough to look at it like this just because of how it moves the overall market. But man, just look at this rising wedge. Bam, broke to the downside for me. That's tough. That is tough to look at, especially on a weekly with the red SARS indicator. Let me know down below in the comment section your thoughts. That's going to be it.